Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Mysticprimrose podcast. I sincerely apologise on how long this episode has taken me, but at the same time I feel like it's worked out quite perfectly with it being Yule, and today's podcast is going to be on Yule. So I hope you guys enjoy it. As always, go grab a coffee, a hot beverage of your choice. Hot chocolate, mocha, it's entirely up to you. I have got a scorching hot black coffee, so we'll see how things go. As always, I need to cut down on the amount of caffeine I drink, but here we are on the third cup of the day, and it is 11 a.m. Feel free to judge me, I don't care. Okay, so here is the next podcast episode, and it is all about embracing the winter solstice, aka Yule, aka Christmas, but obviously we all know Christmas is a pagan tradition that has now been commercialised. But anyway, we will skip on from that. So let's dive in. The history of Yule. To understand Yule, we must delve into its rich history, obviously. Yule has its roots in ancient Norse and Germanic traditions, where it is a festival of honouring the return of the sun. So the winter solstice is when you have the shortest day and the longest night, and then after then the days start to get longer and the nights start to get shorter. It is celebrated around the time of the winter solstice. As I said, Yule marks the shortest day and the longest night of the year. The Norse believed that during this time the sun stood still for 12 days, bringing it with a sense of renewal and the promise of brighter days. 12 days of Christmas, 12 days of Yule. You guys see the similarities right now? Yule is laden with symbolism, much of which has been adopted into various winter celebrations worldwide, e.g. Christmas. For example, the Yule log, for instance, is the central element symbolising the light of the returning sun. Traditionally, a large log would be chosen and burned in the hearth throughout the 12 nights of Yule. As the log burned, it was believed to banish darkness and evil spirits, ushering in warmth and prosperity. So, as long as your Yule log burned throughout these 12 days, then 12 nights, then you'll be protecting yourself and everyone around you from harm's way. That reminds me, I need to go find a Yule log. But let's be honest, who's going to find a big enough Yule log to last 12 days, and I've got nowhere to burn it. So it'd be interesting. We can do a symbolism. We'll do a symbolism instead, or get a mini one and do it that way. So how can you celebrate Yule today if you haven't got a big massive Yule log that is going to last for 12 hours? Well, Yule is very versatile, allowing the blend of traditions and personal touches. For example, you could get a Yule log if you have the place for it, or you could use 12 candles instead, or something that you can relate to the traditional Yule log. Maybe not a cake, or you could eat cake for 12 days solid. It's entirely up to you, depending on your intentions. Probably not the healthiest option, I'll be honest. But you could incorporate different festive decorations made of natural materials and spend time outdoors, connecting with nature and reflecting the changing of the seasons and the fact that summer and spring is finally on its way. I know that I will be excited for it because, let's be honest, I don't really like winter. I think it's the long nights. I wouldn't say seasonal depression, but it kind of puts me along those lines just because, I don't know, I'm a summer, spring, autumn person. Winter, not so much. Yule is also a time for feasting and being merry. In ancient times, a boar was often sacrificed to symbolise the circle of life and death. I don't really know why it's a boar. If anyone does, please feel free to comment on this podcast and let me know. Today, as always, with like Christmas and stuff, you share a festive meal with different seasonal fruit and veg. Maybe not fruit, maybe veg. You give gifts, caroling, decorating with evergreens are other cherished Yuletide customs that have endured throughout the ages. So a Christmas tree is in fact a pagan tradition, not that most people are aware of, and things with like Santa. He is actually Odin, that used to wear a green cloak, I think, but obviously with Coca-Cola, it's turned red. I kind of wish it stayed green. The fact that like one company can change the face of Santa is kind of crazy, if you ask me. But anyway, ultimately, Yule invites us to embrace the spirit of the season, to find warmth in the company of others, and to reflect on the cyclical nature of life. Whether you celebrate Yule, Christmas, Hanukkah, is that how you spell it? Pronounce it, please don't come at me, or any other winter festival this time of year, encourage us to come together and appreciate the love and light between each other's lives. What will I be doing on Christmas Day? Yule Day. Yule is tomorrow, which will be the 21st of December, but it is also celebrated from the 21st to the 1st of January, so my eyes go crazy. That means it's Christmas from the 21st to the 1st of January. I wish it was Christmas every single day, Yule. But in this podcast, I'm kind of like using Yule and Christmas interchangeably. But in my eyes, I see it as Yule. But obviously, the commercialised version is Christmas. How will I be spending my Yule Day? 21st, I will probably do something that's more related to paganism. Maybe that's just going for a walk, creating a Yule-tide simmer pot, and maybe doing a little ritual to welcome in prosperity, abundance, happiness for the new year, and obviously spend time maybe worshipping the sun, because obviously the sun is on its way back and we can't complain. The next thing, I will probably wait till like Christmas Day to fully celebrate, because I guess like it's kind of easier, especially if your whole family aren't necessarily pagan, but you are. It's probably like easier to just celebrate it on the day when everyone else is, but you can just bear in mind throughout the day that you're celebrating Yule rather than Christmas. How do I normally do it? So first thing in the morning, we all tend to wake up, go downstairs, open presents, and then have a cooked breakfast. Normally I think it's eggs Benedict, but instead of eggs, I think it's called eggs Royale. So that's like, instead of bacon, smoked salmon, and oh my gosh, it tastes incredible. And then we normally go for a walk, maybe go for a cheeky half pint down by the pub, so I can use that as a way of celebrating Yule and spend time with family and friends. After that, we come up, everyone helps create Christmas dinner. I then normally just lounge around, chill while we're waiting for dinner to finish cooking. Obviously, I help out where I can. And then we eat, I don't know, I think this time we've got a, a Secret Santa. So we have all gone, well, I still need to go. Everyone probably else still needs to go. But we're doing a £5 charity shop Secret Santa, so you have to get it from a charity shop, and it has to be around the £5 mark. Nowadays, with inflation, I think we might all struggle, but we'll do our best. And then we're going to open them at the Christmas table when we're eating a meal, and then after that, it's more just chilling. Probably go for another walk to walk off the massive amount of food that I will be consuming that day. I do wish the gym was open, I'll be honest. I might try and find one. I think maybe Ultraflex in Derby, they might open on Christmas Day. Actually, maybe not. Somewhere will. And it would just be me and a few others who care more about the gym than Christmas Day. That will be going. And then it will be, we kind of have like this supper buffet small thing that Mum makes, and we always look forward to it more than Christmas dinner, and we just sit down and watch a film. I think the new Chicken Run is out, so my mum's like been like, you need to wait to watch it and we can all watch it together. I do have a bad habit of watching things come out straight away because obviously I work from home and I tend to always have Netflix or something on in the background. So I've pretty much watched everything. So as soon as something else comes out, I'm like, oh, I must watch it straight away. So I am doing my absolute best to hold off this time. And then that's about our day done, to be honest. Feel free to let me know what you guys do on Christmas Day down in the comments. I'd be very interested to hear about other people's traditions and stuff. But it's mainly just a day of chilling, maybe playing a few games, going for a walk, eating stupid amounts of food, and then maybe drinking a little bit. But me and my brother tend to just like, whilst my mum and dad are getting on with different things, we tend to just drink. And then I realise I've got a little bit too tipsy on Christmas Day. And I'm like, okay, I need to go for a nap because my mum and dad aren't getting drunk and my brother doesn't. So I can't be the only one that's drunk on my own. So I'll just sit there, have a nap and then wear it off. And then, yeah, that's about it. So that's my Christmas Day. And I think that's pretty much covered Yule. Maybe we can go over a little bit more. If you guys aren't familiar and how you can celebrate it. So these are the first few things that you can do to celebrate Yule. I know that there's a big crossover with Yule and Christmas. So some of these are very much similar to Christmas, so like decorating a Christmas tree. First one could be creating a Yule log or lighting one. Like I said, you could get a smaller one, and I've been trying to find a small enough one, and then you can kind of like carve a hole out the top and you could just put a tea light in there and light a tea light every single day and do it that way. A lot more safer than a big 12-day Yule log, I want to say. So maybe I'll do that. I just need to find an actual log first and someone to, is it a circular drill bit or whatever you call it, to like make a hole in it, unless I just stick it on the top. I'm just brainstorming ideas right now to you guys. I don't know if they're useful or what, we'll see. So that would be one thing that you could do. You can decorate with evergreens, so pine, fir, holly. They symbolise life and renewal. You could also use oranges, cinnamon sticks, anything that, let's say you want to bring in a specific thing during 2024 and one of them is happiness and the other one is money, then you could sit there and use different ingredients and different things that correspond with money and happiness. So it could be oranges, so you could dry oranges and hang them up, or you could create a wreath out of them. You could do a little orange spell candle ritual. I have quite a few of them on my Instagram as I just love the smell of them. I'm a little bit obsessed with oranges. I don't actually like eating oranges, so I tend to like use it and then either bury it back into the earth, or I don't mind like if you squeeze the oranges and do it that way. It's just, do you know, I'm going off topic here, I'm ranting, but anyway, do you know the like skin that's kind of comes on like an orange segment? It's more with like the easy peelers. I don't know what it is. My body just can't swallow it. Like I'll eat an orange if I sit there and pick all the stuff out and like suck the juice out and the flesh bits, but the stringy bits around it, no, my body can't hack it and I just end up gagging. So I struggle to eat them. I don't know if anyone else has this issue. Maybe it's just me. Let me know if you do, because I'd like to be not the only other weirdo. But anyway, you can decorate with evergreens, so you could create a wreath. You could maybe go on a winter solstice walk and take some from nature, but obviously ask nature first and maybe give an offering in return. It doesn't have to be anything big and over the top. As long as your thought is there and your intention is there, then you'll be fine. You can have a meal or share a meal with family and friends, kind of like a Christmas dinner. So you can use traditional foods, which include roasted meats, roast vegetables, and hearty stews. I think I've always had like a big roast dinner with turkey, just your traditional UK roast dinner, I guess. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of turkey because I don't know what it is. I don't know what mum does to the turkey, but it ends up so dry. No offense, mum. I'm sorry if you're listening, but your turkey's dry. So it's either doused with so much gravy or maybe chicken. I might ask her to do chicken this year. I think we never go like over the top because one, there's only four of us, and my brother is a veggie and my mum and dad don't really eat meat that much. So it's normally me that just, with being a gym rat, just sits there and eats as much chicken as possible. Because in my eyes, I'm like, it's gains. It's just a gain day in my eyes. But anyway, you can exchange gifts. These could be ones that you've created. These could be ones that have meanings for Yule if someone is wanting to do something in 2024. So it could be like, I don't know, they're looking to write a new book. You could maybe create something like a little spell or ritual kit or spell jar or something that will help them with regards to that. If you want to do anything thoughtful that way, you could do handmade things, or you could just go down the commercial route. Nothing wrong with that, because I've gone down there with some of my presents. I'm kind of tempted to tell you guys what I've got people, but then again, if they're listening, maybe not. I tend to take forever when it comes to getting gifts for people because I want it to be as like meaningful and they actually use it, and like I put a lot of thought into them. I think it's because as I was younger, some family members, like aunts and uncles, they tend to like just chuck gifts at you and they never really they didn't think about it. It was like a last minute thing. And I don't know, I felt like I never want to be that sort of person because I don't want to be, it made me feel like I was a bit of an afterthought. So I ensure I don't do that to anyone else. So I take forever coming up with presents, but when I do, I tend to hit the mark pretty well. I'm pretty good with gifts, if I'm going to say so myself. You can also connect with nature, so take a nature walk or a hike to connect with the outdoors and acknowledgement, changing of the seasons. If it's winter solstice, you could go to Stonehenge. I really wish I was going, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. Plus it'd be really cold, like really, really cold. But yeah, I think I'd have to go down tonight. I always get confused. Or is it tomorrow night? It's tonight, I think. You could go watch the sunrise and somewhere nice. Maybe I could do that, but that's a lot of effort and it's very dark, and I don't know where the best place is to watch sunrise and where I live because I've never really done it. So maybe for next year we'll do that then. You could celebrate outdoors, so you could create a bonfire or a winter picnic. It might be a little bit cold, but I don't know, something about having autumn or winter picnics that are so much better than summer ones, I guess. I don't know, I've got so many ideas now. I want to go for a picnic. That's why these podcasts are me just ranting and raving and just thinking of different things to do, and you guys just listening to me ramble on. But you guys don't seem to mind them, so we'll keep going. You can reflect and set some intentions for the year coming. So it could be what you want to gain from 2024. It could be like New Year's resolution sort of things and goals, but obviously make sure they're attainable and you stick to them, because I'm guilty of writing like goals and intentions and then never really doing them. So this year we will be sticking to them and they will be manageable ones. One of them, which is going to be writing a book for you guys. I am so excited about doing it. I've just got to find the time to write it first. It is going to be a spell book, which includes all of the spells that I've done and some extras, as well as candle magic and just all those good bits and pieces that you guys have been begging me for. And I'm actually going to make it my mission this year to write a book, because I've been signed by a publishing agency, so I now don't have a choice. But yes, setting goals and things like that will be another good thing. You could perform Yuletide rituals. These could be lighting candles, saying blessings, meditating on the significance of winter solstice, giving your gratitude for Mother Nature and all she has to offer. It can all incorporate elements that hold personal meaning for you and your loved ones. You could even get them involved if they're open to it. It could be something as simple as you'll write down what you want to let go of this year and what you want to bring into your life, and then you could just chuck it and burn it in a candle or in a little bonfire or something. That would be cute. Maybe I'll do that. That's a good idea, actually. I will be doing that. You can create a Yule altar, so set up a Yule altar with symbols of the season, such as candles, evergreens, seasonal fruits, all of which represent Yule. You can go on Google or Pinterest and things like that to get an idea of what you could put on your Yule altar. I actually need to make an altar. I have a bit of one, but I normally dismantle it every time I film a video, so maybe I need to actually create one and keep it. Maybe that can be my New Year's resolution. To actually make an altar. I do have one, but it's like it changes all the time, so I need a permanent one, I think. We'll do that. You can share traditions with others, so share the joy of Yule by teaching them about its history and its traditions. Invite friends and family to come join in your celebrations and learn about their own winter holiday customs. Tell them why they decorate a Christmas tree at night at Christmas. You don't have to obviously ram it down their throats and be like, you must celebrate it this way. You can just tell them, as they might not necessarily know. Remember that the essence of Yule lies in embracing the returning of the light, finding warmth and connection, and celebrating the cyclic nature of life. Obviously, you can adapt these to suit your own preferences. It's entirely up to you. So whatever you associate with Yule, go for that. If you think you want to do a certain thing, but you're not necessarily sure, just go with it. Because after all, witchcraft, Wicca, paganism, it's a very personal journey and you should be able to adapt it to however you want. So create a Yule celebration that resonates with you and your loved ones. I hope you guys have got a bit more of an idea on Yule. I did say on my last podcast that I will be answering some questions for you guys, because I get them all the time and I do some on Instagram, but I'm limited to like a minute long video. So sometimes it's like a bit of a race to get as much in as possible. So I will go through a couple of ones that you guys have had in the past. They tend to be quite informative, things that you guys are asking all the time. And yeah, let me get my questions up. What does it mean when a spell jar breaks open when trapped negative energy? What do you do? I would say not to panic. I know that some people are like, oh shit, the spell's broken and all this sort of stuff, what are we going to do? I would honestly just remake it and maybe try and, if you've sealed it with wax or something, maybe put extra amount of wax in, or you could even super glue it closed. So don't overthink it and kind of just like redo your ritual and spell, but just make sure your intention is like a little bit stronger, just in case. I wouldn't worry about it too much. So this is one I've never had anyone ask before. What bands do you listen to? I would like to say I have an eclectic music choice. It can go from folk and acoustic to indie to metal to rock to screamo. But I want to say, if I had to pick some bands that were my absolute favourite, they are all metal rock bands, let's be honest. We've got Pantera. Oh, Ginny! We've got Pantera. Don't mind a bit Guns N' Roses. Avenged Sevenfold. Who else do I listen to quite a bit? Let me get my playlist up. Honestly, Download in the UK, it's a big, massive rock festival. It's on next year, and it is the best lineup going. I'm not going to lie. I am actually obsessed with it, so I will be going to that. If anyone else is, feel free to send me a message and I'll come meet you guys. Bring Me the Horizon. I've started listening to them again. I used to listen to them a lot and then I went off them and then came back. And Shikari, oh my gosh, another amazing one. I could go on forever, and I know you guys don't want to listen to it all. So those are some of my bands. I'm a bit of a metalhead. Let me think. How did I start on witchcraft? I'm sure I've covered this one before, but in a nutshell, essentially, I went to a physical store and I bought myself a pendulum because the woman there told me that it answers yes or no questions. And obviously at the time, being like 14, I had a crush on someone, and I was like, oh my gosh, it will tell me if I ever date this person. And I got it. It said that I would, and eventually I did. It wasn't straight away, but yes. And I kind of just picked up on different witchcraft bits as I went along. So I can remember one time making a bit of an altar in the back of my cupboard, but I never really knew what it meant or anything. So I think it wasn't until maybe just before I started uni that I put the pieces together, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm practicing witchcraft, and I didn't even realise. So that's kind of how I got into witchcraft, and then I documented it via Instagram, and my Instagram kind of grew quite quickly. So ever since then, I have just gone down this path, I guess. Another question. Are love spells dangerous? Oh gosh, I feel like this is a bit of a... It's not a scary subject, but one that has a lot of like questions and taboo around it. If you're doing a love spell from a good place with good intentions, and that if you want them to come back and you want to like, if you want someone to come back but you don't want them to come back against their free will, you're kind of just telling the universe and them that like you're open to the idea that they can come back, and you have nothing against them, and you want it with all good intentions, and they can come back if they want to. Maybe the universe will help them with like opening the door, give them a little bit of a nudge, but only if they want to, and if they've got it in there that they don't ever want to see you again, and that's like there's no doubt in it or anything, then it probably won't work. But I think if you go from that angle, then it's fine and acceptable. And if you go into it with a lot of love and light and good intentions, you'll be fine. But if you're going to force someone back... This dog, I swear. If you're going to force someone back, then the likelihood of it actually going well is probably slim. And even if it did, they might not end up wanting to stay for long, and then you're back to being brokenhearted again. So if you're going at it from a good point of view, then I think you'll be fine. And as long as you're being truthful to yourself, and that you are doing it for like the right reasons, then you'll be okay. But if you know deep down you're really doing it for the wrong reasons, I probably wouldn't, because it'll probably just end up hurting you more in the long run. So just hold out and maybe concentrate on yourself instead, and do maybe a self-love ritual instead of trying to force someone back, because the last thing we want is for someone to come back and you to be happy, and then the next minute they fuck off again, and then you're left in a mess, in more of a mess than you were before. Waiting for your giveaway. I do have a giveaway on my Instagram. It is for a couple of different bits, so feel free to go over there and have a look if you'd like to enter. I am when am I doing it? The 24th of December, so Christmas Eve, is when I'll be announcing it. I want to start the new year and have better energy, more positive thinking. I guess they're asking for a spell with this, so it could just be a prosperity, abundance spell. It's entirely up to you. There's a few on my Instagram that are kind of along those lines, and if you really concentrate on spending time on making, like, it could just be a list on what you want to achieve and how you want to achieve it, and then dedicate a ritual to that, that would work quite well. It's entirely up to you. I think, like, at the end of the day, witchcraft is a personal journey. I can give you all these different spells and stuff, but honestly, they'll work so much better if you adapt them slightly to like fit you exactly. So if you think something, say like an ingredient, say if you resonate with basil with money more than you do with cinnamon, I'd use basil instead of cinnamon. But yeah, oh, my back is killing me, guys. Why is my back so bad? I need to get another sports massage, but they're not fun, and I end up hurting even more afterwards, so maybe I'll just sit in there and hurt. I look like a doll, apparently, on one of my Instagram questions. Do I? Where am I from? I am from the East Midlands in the UK. I am not going into any more detail than that because I don't want any, like, random stalkers turn up at my door. I'd be like, please go away. So, yes. Am I taking a class for all this information I give out? I've never taken a class. It's mainly just a documentary, I guess, of my personal journey. I've studied a lot. I haven't taken like an actual class, but I have read so many books, watched so many YouTube videos, probably been on every single witchy page on Google. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but I've been on a lot and I've learnt a lot, and through my own journey and just research and stuff. So I feel like I'm comfortable and confident enough to teach everyone else about witchcraft because it's my life. I eat, breathe, and sleep it. So there we go. Let me see. Have we got any more? Do I run courses to teach witchcraft? I have my Instagram page. I have a Patreon that goes into more depth and detail. I currently have a Yule theme going on where I'm teaching you guys how to make different Yule decorations, celebrate Yule, different things you can do, different activities you can do throughout the days, which I've been really enjoyed doing. I've had quite a good response from that. So if you're looking to find out more ways on how to celebrate Yule, feel free to have a look. I think it's £3 a month and I post every single day. So I'd like to think you're getting your £3 worth. But yes, that's that one. Would I own a hamster and why not? I have owned a hamster. It was called Ham. Very imaginative name, I know. She was a rescue and how long did she live for? It was maybe 2 or 3. I think that's quite good for a hamster. She died of old age, pretty much. She was very old, and there was nothing wrong with her. So I've owned a hamster. I probably won't own another one. Maybe I would, but I kind of like, with hamsters, I like the sound of them being up at night because, like, do you know when you're at home and you hear like a bang or something on your own and you're like, oh my gosh, what is that? Having like a hamster or something there that's like a constant noise and you know what it is kind of comforting. I don't know if I'm the only one that does that, but I like hamsters. Do you have to have a witch aesthetic if you're a witch? Not at all. Not at all. It doesn't have to be glamorous. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be an absolute mess if you wanted it to be, as long as your intentions and your belief and your magic is there. That's all that matters. Personally, I like an aesthetic because it makes me feel like I'm more put together, and I kind of like romanticize it, if that makes sense. But it's entirely up to you. You can do whatever you want and make it your own. Do I like pizza? Some of these questions are really weird, you know. Yes and no. There was a very long stage where I think once I threw up on pizza and never ate it again for about 5-6 years. But we're there now. And pizza's alright. Pineapple does go on pizza if anyone asks. I can hear some of you shaking your heads right now. But that's just personal preference. Okay, I'm going to finish on this last question, and I think it's quite a good one. I've had a few people ask this question actually. So, have any tips for a baby witch starting her journey? I'm starting this journey, but I'm still a little nervous. Any advice for a newcomer? Honestly, don't overthink it and go with your gut. Do your research, focus on different topics that you're interested in, and practice as much as you can. With witchcraft in general, you don't have to sit there and do witchcraft every single day. You could do something simple, so it could just be like stirring your coffee clockwise to bring in certain like intentions, or you could do rituals. I would just honestly take your time. You have all the time in the world to learn it, and you don't need to rush. Just go at your own pace, read whatever books you want, and just go through it that way. You could also follow me on Instagram if you wanted to, which is at Mysticprimrose. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about doing things wrong. If you feel like if you're doing a spell and you're like, oh, I want to add this, I've got like an urge or a gravitational pull to put this into it, then do it. Or if you have a gut feeling that you shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that, then don't do it. It's as simple as that. Just go with your intuition and focus on your intentions. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think we've covered everything. We are getting on to the 40-minute mark. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast episode. I will be uploading more regularly as soon as the Christmas season is over, because I am snowed under with orders, and with it just being me, myself and I that do everything with Mysticprimrose, I'm a little bit snowed under with work, so this is why it's taken a little longer to get this podcast episode out. But finally, we've done it. They will be a lot more frequent in the new year, hopefully once a week. If you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like to hear me cover, either message me on Instagram at Mysticprimrose, email me info@mysticprimrose.com, or message me on here somehow. It's entirely up to you. But I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas, Yule, and I hope you celebrate it and you have the best 2024, start to 2024 going. I'm sure you guys will have a great time, and I send you lots of love and kisses, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.